Why do car batteries go flat? Well, there are a multitude of reasons why this can happen, but generally they fall under 5 different categories. These days, the most common cause by far is undercharging. You see on vehicles which are at least 10 or 15 years old, they had alternators which were always charging the battery whenever the engine was running. This isn't so good for fuel economy though, so newer vehicles have smart alternator charging systems which can engage or disengage the alternator in an effort to reduce CO2 emissions and increase fuel economy. This may not be as good news for the battery though, because it means they're not being brought up to full charge as often as before and for as long as they previously would have been. So modern vehicles tend to lean on the battery a lot more than older vehicles used to. And more often than not, it means they're not being kept at full charge, which is where these things love to live the most. Also, if you have a vehicle which is killing batteries in quick succession, it points to a potential issue with the charging system rather than the battery. So that's something which you need to look at before you go out and buy a new one. The second reason is human error. None of us are perfect, but some vehicles will actually allow you to leave things powered even when you've gotten out and locked it up. Things like leaving headlights on, leaving glove boxes open, the little glove box light illuminated. Anything which is left running powered overnight can easily flatten a battery by the time you get into the vehicle the next day. So to avoid this, double check that everything is shut, glove boxes, boots, doors. Make sure everything is turned off, headlights, accessories, lock the car, and you should be good to go. We have even had problems with cars with proximity keys because vehicles with that system will actually keep some of the modules in the car powered up when it senses the key is nearby. So to avoid battery drain in that situation, always lock your car, even if it's in your garage, and keep your key more than 5 meters away from the vehicle. This will allow the vehicle to enter its sleep or low power mode and keep everything powered down. The third cause could be parasitic drain, and these are equipment or devices in your vehicle which remain powered even when it's turned off. The most common offenders here are dash cams with parking monitoring modes, electronic rust prevention systems, and alarm systems. Anything which is running when the car is not is going to be draining this thing down over a period of hours, days, weeks, or even months, down to a point where potentially this thing is not going to start your car anymore. The fourth reason your battery went flat could be your driving habits. If your vehicle is driven for lots of short, small trips, the vehicle's charging system may not be putting enough power back into the battery which it used to start the engine in the first place. So you can kind of see if that's not happening, over time, every time you start the car, it's going to be lowering the voltage of your battery and it's not going to be brought back up to the point where it started. So over time, you get this stairway effect of the voltage dropping and dropping, lower and lower, until again, it'll no longer start the car. Lead acid batteries also gradually lose power over time, meaning that if you leave a car parked up for a couple of weeks, you may potentially again return to it and not be able to start it. And the last reason is it could simply be an old battery. Lead acid batteries on average last approximately 42 months or 3.5 years. So if you've got a battery which is around that age or even older, it could just potentially have had enough and reached the end of its life. So if your battery went flat a lot quicker than you expected, it is very important that we have an expert investigate what's actually going on, whether it's a fault with the battery, whether it's a fault with the vehicle's charging system, a combination of both, or even external factors such as how the vehicle is driven or not. So do check out your local Century Batteries retailer for a free battery test if you're concerned. Otherwise, for more information, visit the Century website at centurybatteries.co.nz.